Hello, 7th graders. Mr. Dayton here, and I'm about to read to you pages 220 and 221 in our textbook, along with questions 1 through 9 on page 221. So let's get right into it. We begin on page 220, 9-9. Our question is, what are insects? Our objective is to describe the features of insects. Our key terms, we have our antenna, or plural antennae, structure used for touch, taste, and smell. Then we have thorax. Thorax is the middle section of an insect's body. Next, we have abdomen. Abdomen is the third section of an insect's body. Then we have spiracle. Spiracle is opening to an air tube of a grasshopper. And then finally, we have tympanum. Tympanum is the hearing organ in a grasshopper. Okay. First section is titled Insects. Insects are the largest class of arthropods. There are more different kinds of insects than of any other kind of animals. In fact, more than 1 million insects have been identified. Insects live almost everywhere except in the oceans. They live in the air, the soil, on plants, and even in the walls of buildings. Beetles, fleas, termites, moths, and ants are all insects. Okay. There's a nice little diagram of a grasshopper. Then we go over to the grasshopper, is one of the insects we'll be reading about. The grasshopper is a good model to use when you study insects. Like all arthropods, a grasshopper has jointed legs, a segmented body, and an exoskeleton. A grasshopper has 3 pairs of legs and 1 pair of antennae. Antennae are sensory structures that detect touch, taste, and smell. All insects have 3 body segments: the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. The thorax is the middle section of the insect's body. The 3 pairs of legs are attached to the thorax. The abdomen is the third section of an insect's body. Like most insects, the adult grasshopper also has wings. Look at the grasshopper figure in figure 9-30. Find the spiracles. The spiracles are openings to air tubes inside the grasshopper. The grasshopper breathes by moving air in and out through the spiracles. Find the tympanum. It is used for hearing. So we're going to look at this, and we're going to look for both the tympanum and the spiracles. So here we have the spiracles, the openings for air, and then we have kind of above its hind legs, the tympanum right there. Tympanum, and then the spiracles. They're kind of hard to see due to the lighting, but there are, oh yeah, there we go. Nice little openings there. Okay, moving on to social insects. Some insects live together in colonies. Insects that live in colonies are called social insects. Ants and honeybees are social insects. In a honeybee hive, there are 3 kinds of honeybees. They are the queen, the drones, let me zoom out a little more, and the workers. Each one has its own job in the beehive. The queen bee lays eggs, the drone fertilizes the eggs, the drones fertilize the eggs, the workers take care of the eggs and feed the queen and the drones. Workers also gather nectar and pollen and build and protect the hive. Okay, and then here's a nice little photo of bees. They're social insects. All right, so you are writing these answers in complete sentences in your science notebook, questions 1 through 9. We have, what are 3 body parts of an insect? What are 3 body parts of an insect? You could say 3 body parts of an insect are blank, blank, and blank. Number 2, how many legs do insects have? How many legs do insects have? So your response would be, insects have blank legs. Number 3, what are the openings to air tubes on a grasshopper called? What are the openings to air tubes on a grasshopper called? The openings to air tubes on a grasshopper are called blank. All right, number 4. What do grasshoppers use for hearing? What do grasshoppers use for hearing? Grasshoppers use blank for hearing. Number 5, what are insects that live in colonies called? What are insects that live in colonies called? Insects that live in colonies are called blank. And now we need to think critically. Oops, let me fix this. All right. Number 6, why do you think insects are the most common kind of animal? Ooh, gotta infer here. Why do you think insects are the most common kind of animal? I think insects are the most common kind of animal because blank. Number 7 is compare. Explain the difference between breathing in earthworms and breathing in insects. So you got to think back to when we talked about earthworms. Explain the difference between breathing in earthworms and breathing in insects. Insects and earthworms. The difference between breathing in earthworms and breathing in insects is, and then go on and tell about the difference. Predict for number 8. Number 8 says, what might happen to a colony of bees if all the worker bees were removed? What might happen to a colony of bees if all the worker bees were removed? So you would say something like this. If all the worker bees were removed, blank would happen to a colony, or you can elaborate from there. And then number 9, you need to draw and label a diagram of an insect. Think of the body parts that are necessary for an insect. We have talked about this in class. You just read about it, or I just read about it. You can go back and look at these things or think about your notes from class as well. All right, that's 1 through 9 on page 221. Again, I just read to you pages 220 and 221, questions 1 through 9. Answer those in your science notebook in complete sentences, and good luck, everybody. Have a great day.